Today, the closing arguments were given in former President Donald Trump's civil fraud trial in New York.
That's right. His legal team and state lawyers made their case in the matter. ABC's Aaron Katursky has the story.
Tonight, former President Trump launching into unscripted and unauthorized remarks during closing arguments at a civil fraud trial that threatens the future of a real estate empire that helped propel him to the White House. Ignoring the judge's insistence he stick to the facts and the law, Trump went on the attack, calling the case a political witch hunt that should be set aside, and casting himself as the victim, saying, "I've been persecuted by someone running for office." Trump called himself an innocent man and told the judge, "What happened here, sir, is a fraud on me," complaining New York Attorney General Letitia James sued him to get publicity. The judge in the case has already found that Trump overvalued his real estate properties for years, allowing him to get better terms on loans and insurance. Now the court is deciding how much Trump and his business should pay, along with the future of Trump's real estate dealings in New York. And in court today, Trump did make one concession. When his Trump Tower penthouse was valued as if it was 3 times its actual size, the former president said it was an honest mistake. An attorney for the state said it screams of an intent to defraud. Trump, seated at the defense table, began to attack the judge, who implored a defense lawyer to control your client. After 5 minutes, the judge cut off Trump's remarks, holding up his phone to signal Trump was out of time. Trump then making his case to cameras outside the courtroom.
It's a disgrace, and they should pay me damages.
In their closing argument, state lawyers saying they proved fraud was central to the operation of the Trump Organization's business, and Trump was responsible because the buck stopped with him. The Attorney General arguing Trump should never be allowed to do business in New York again.
This case is about the facts and the law. And Mr. Donald Trump violated the law.
The judge said tonight he would decide by the end of the month whether Trump deserves a penalty. The state wants him to pay $370 million and get kicked out of New York real estate, a decision that could force Trump to give up control of the buildings that bear his name. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.